I need very little these days, almost none at all. I think this was mismarked. $2.99 for 4 of these, and the rest of them are like $9.99. I don't know if they're just trying to blow them out or whatever, but I got it. Usually I don't generally like most. I don't mind a woody, but I don't like a bourbon. So I don't know. Gunpowder IPA is an explosion of tropical fruit aromas from the Cascade and Citra hops. Think grapefruit and mango turned up to 11. And the bourbon barrels have added a silky, smooth texture which complements these fruity notes perfectly. Well, we'll see about that. I only spent $3 for 4. We spent more than a decade perfecting our craft. Find out how we put the barrels into the beer. Oh, I get it. Yeah, whatever you're aging in the barrels gets in the wood, and so when you put something else in there, it comes back out. It's funny, Epic, which does a lot of barrel aging, you'll go to their place and you'll on your way you turning out of there, they'll have these massive racks, 4 or 5, 4 high, I think, with all these barrels, and they're all like sticky and oozing, and that's just, they're doing the work because they take it out into the sun, and the sun, you know, changes the thing, and it just all works, expand, contract, all that. In fact, the places in where they make the whiskey are just not climate controlled. They just they want the heat changes. All right, Saturday, as I said, the 5th of October 2019, I'm in Wendover, Nevada. It's the first time I know that I've stayed in Wendover, Nevada since right about the time that me and Lisa split up, and I was not doing so well. I was trying to not think about it, so that would have been February 2004. 15 years. I just don't think I've come out here for any other reason to stay. We came out here. I think me and Lisa came out here a couple times. My parents used to like to come out here a lot. So one of my greatest memories of this is we came out here, stayed at the Silversmith, and I brought Andrea, who was my girlfriend. She had her baby, because it's her baby. You gotta take them everywhere. She got... It wasn't nearly, it was 15 years ago. No, that was more like, we're talking 92, so, you know, more like a long time ago. 20 years ago, plus. And there wasn't all that out here, but she had the baby and she ended up with like a gallon of milk. And so we're going back through the desert. And she asked me if I'd ever cheated on her. And I was honest, I had. And our relationship pretty much ended right there. She freaked out and threw the fucking milk jug out into the desert from the speeding car. And it just wasn't going to be the same. And what happened is... so the first trade show I went to with Natty Threads was in San Diego, and I drove down there. God, I think I might have had one of my like dad's old cars or something. I don't think I had a good car, but it ended, and you can drive from San Diego to Salt Lake in a day if you get up early, and you'll be, So I did that, went straight to the tap room, the old tap room, the A-frame, and had my own Natty Threads cap on. And there was this woman in there, and she was this big woman. I ended up giving her a business card, and she ended up contacting me, and we had we kind of had we did it a few times. This is a funny story. I guess this has to go into my biography. I was so embarrassed that I was going out and doing it with this fucking 300-pound woman that I didn't even dare go in my own fucking driveway from the front. That's how scared I was when I took her to my house. We used to have phone sex. She said I had a chocolate pudding voice. She lived in Sandy, and her story was that in my little cap, which was more of a retro style cap, reminded her of her dad, who I think had died. And anyway, but I was at one point, and this is early Natty Threads, over a couple of years. This other woman called me out of the blue to kind of hook up or whatever, and she had referred me, the big one. Teresa was her name, I think, and so I just met her at this gas station in Sandy. Sandy's kind of, it's not easy to find your way around if you don't know where you're going. And we went up to her house, and we kind of just did it right there on the floor. It was really fucking good. She had these big boobs. I remember just feeling like, oh fuck. I think I probably brought a condom because I was generally pretty useful, or pretty, regular about using a condom. But then that gives them a story, that gives them an idea right there that, you're premeditating it. It was good, man. And it was just, I remember it was right on the floor of this place in Sandy, and it was just that one time. And I remember driving back home. I had to drive by the general neighborhood where she lived. She lived in this basement apartment of a woman across the street. I think it might have been her sister's mother-in-law or something. Yeah, that's where it all happened for us there in this little basement apartment in Cottonwood. I can't remember what the lady upstairs' name was, but it was a place for Andrea to land with her child, fatherless. Yeah, so after that we went to Mount Pleasant, and it was like the rodeo. It was right when Achy Breaky Heart was coming out, and she just didn't. That was it. That was the end of it. She wasn't gonna have sex with me. It wasn't, but yeah. So that was the end of it. And then she just went on and whatever. That was my mistake. See, I should have done that more at places when it was the right time to do it. I may go back and get these $2.99 for 4. That's like, these would be $10 in the liquor store. Not easily. In Salt Lake. I don't know if there's something with them, they're trying to move them, or it wasn't just a mistake and it should be $12.99. I don't know. But a lot of times when the price is there, they will honor the price. Some people say they have to honor the price. Seeing drawn. That's the new Lee's liquor store, Asian-owned superstore down there. It was good. It wasn't, it wasn't any better than Colorado. I'm having this gurgle here. I hope I'm not having heart pains. My doctor wants to see me again. I know. It's like, fuck, okay, a prescription only lasts 6 months. All right, I kind of get it. So I came out to the sun tunnels thing. Are we still rolling here? Can you see if we're still rolling? I'm not just talking to myself. We're still rolling. And it was nice. Met the curator of the Utah Museum of Fine Art. Didn't tell her I was a fantastic artist. I played dumb. So I had a degree in art, but it was commercial art. And then I guess I gave her my cheese selling card. So, cheese merchant artist. I wonder if there's been many of those through history. Yeah, I tallied up things last night, and I fucking sold a lot of cheese. It was good. I mean, for just putting it together, now I know what I could do differently. So I'm close. I'm so close. So maybe I don't do my big business plan. Maybe I just do the next incremental thing. I think I could do it. Dennis at the tap room once, but he's really unclear. I don't know if he realizes I need to make money. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is how I'll make my money. But it doesn't matter. I sold a bunch of cheese. They're super, super happy with me. I kind of, got some branding out there and stuff, People are going to have a pretty good... Anybody who knows has got an idea already. It's only been 6 months, so... And very part-time, so... Cheese, Utah. So I got some ideas. Seems like there's almost something there. So I just trying to have a positive attitude. I went to dinner with my son last Sunday, and there's something about it just sparked me and just said, hey, this kid's doing okay. This kid is the Mormon church is enriching his life. And I think what it is they're putting a certain trust on him and probably a reward system that he wouldn't get with his mom. I don't want to spend time on that. But it's just true. I don't think she likes men, and she's just got this kind of way about her it's just not the best. So there, he'll be truly appreciated for what he does and recognized. And so I'm just leaving it with that. I got my own life. Sure, I wish a lot of things were different. Yeah, I just saw this. I've been wanting to come out to the sun tunnels, now that I've gone a bunch of places this summer, and so I made it out there. They're remote. You're out there in this big expanse. Little things. It's unusual, and there they are. But it's where they got these marks. I thought somebody was trying to ride their bike, and apparently they were people will shoot a bullet in there to watch it. It's talk about dangerous, And so they had this flautist out there and filmed her, taped her, did the whole arty thing, did a little cyana thing where they expose it, and did a little painting with watercolors, had a quarter or a half a lemon bar, gave the person my card. Then I came back and there's a tiny cowboy bar. That was funny as fuck. It was exactly what I thought. It's like there were holes in the bar and I'm trying to figure out what happened. I think people just started carving them out. It was that kind of place. There's a couple guys at the end, they were just going on about funny shit about their bar tabs, and one guy he'd only get if you got $50 credit at another bar, and his friend got $270 credit, and he was never going to go back again because he gave the other guy $270. And the one guy's like, I got some steaks, but I don't have any teeth. You can have the steaks. And I didn't gathered I didn't see him not having any teeth, but then they started talking about nipples, and the guys, oh, I don't like those little nipples, and and so I had a beer. The beer they had on tap was actually pretty good, for that place. It was a porter by this by a long established Nevada thing. It's just the right thing, to have there, along with their Bud and Bud Light. And one of the ladies was all dressed up. The bartender kind of reminded me of an Alta type, and I played the slots and won $2.33. Then I came back. It's about an hour and 35 minutes from Wendover, and decided I would go and see if my buddy Tom Kleinschmidt was the manager at the Rainbow, as I thought he was. And I thought, well, I'll go now, because what if he gets off at 5 or something? And sure enough, walked right in the door, and there he was. I go up to him, and I had my line. I knew what I was going to say to him. I was like, can you tell me where the nearest cannabis dispensary is? And he started to try to answer me, and then he realized who I was, but he's like, he was always a slob. But he sounds like he's become a very good family man. He says he doesn't drink in front of his kids. He's like the only person in Wendover that doesn't drink beer. And his dad just died. His dad was a beloved art professor. Did a lot of sheep. He was big into his sheep phase. And yeah, they were interesting. They lived in a tiny little house. They were different than the rest of the Mormon families, They had this tiny house with a bunch of stuff in it. They were from Wisconsin. He was adopted. And then they lived right next to this big-ass water tank. It was a big water tank. I don't know how many gallons it is, but it was big. It basically filled most of a lot there, and it collapsed one day, and they had moved, but it totally took out the house, because it was an old house. It was like from the 50s. And so he had this, his own bedroom downstairs, which was a different entry. So people would just come down there, and he dealt pot, smoked pot, and did Tom Kleinschmidt stuff. Bill Davis was bummed because he said he ripped him off for £1/4 pound. Then he'd tell me things like, as he kind of, I don't know if he ever came up to Logan once or not. I don't know, he might have. Or I know that I brought some Logan friends over to his house after the Frank Zappa show. I remember that. And that would have been 80. But he'd tell me things like he would meet some woman at a fucking stop sign or a red light, then start saying, she had the biggest clitoris I ever seen, it was as big as my thumb, It was just, he had his way to get in with women pretty easily, but he ended up getting a Filipino mail order bride, and he has kids, and it's like, he's the only person I've ever known that has done that. But I wanted to say hi, and it was nice. He was casual, said hi, he was going home, no big plans or anything, but he was glad I stopped in. So, all right, just keeping going here. Next weekend I'm going to try to go out with this woman, Diane. The weekend after that is the Cheese Awards Show banquet. The weekend after that, I'm at Stu's thing. Then we're into November, and I got 60 days to get out of my place, so we're staying busy. Hopefully I'll wake up in the morning, won't be found dead in a Wendover motel, because that wouldn't sound good. A Motel 6 nonetheless.